Wow, Ice, thank you so much for spending time with us today. This is awesome. This
Oh,
has
it's
been
cool. This is fun. This is something I like to do. When y'all got at me, I'm like, hell yeah, this is something fun. I probably, but you know, I'm 100% into the game thing. Like I say, I'm not a competitive gamer, but this was a chance not only to do games but talk to some people that had some good questions.
yeah,
You know,
it was about
Yeah.
connecting people, showing how we can just we may be trash at Division Two, but we all had a good time playing Gears. We all had a good time playing Borderlands 3. We all had a good time playing Division 2. Uh, this was the first time you've ever really been talking to people on Twitch, so I think that's
I don't even know how to use Twitch.
Yeah.
Um, but it's cool. It's cool.
Do you think?
it's been amazing. It's been such a treat, and thanks
Yeah.
to everyone who followed us during this. We
Yeah.
stream a lot, so you'll be hearing from us.
Do you think now that you've checked out Twitch, this is something you might give a shot? Like just like on your own, like make an Ice-T channel or something like that.
Probably not. I mean, this requires time, and I learned from doing podcasting that some people that's all they do. They just run a podcast so that they're able to designate more time to it. My problem was when I started doing the podcast thing, I could only do it on Tuesday nights because of my work schedule. So I couldn't get guests on, and a lot of this stuff requires a lot of dedication to do it well. So, I will do another Twitch like this or something, but it's just a lot. It's just a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort to do it on your end, and I've been streaming for 3 days straight, basically from this office, and yeah, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you're already a busy man, so it's like you would be taking the thing that is like your downtime and turning it into more work if you
right.
Yeah.
And when we had the reality show, when Coco and I had the reality show, that happened. Like every time I would get off from work, they wanted to shoot that, and I had to get to where I was like, the little time I have, where I have time with Chanel. I mean, you could fill every single second of your life up with work or something to do. And, I kind of liked it. I would never have any time to actually play video games. And I kind of like play video games to be by myself. Mm-hmm. So if I start to Twitch, now I'm no longer by myself. I'm now talking. And, it's fun. It makes it more exciting when I just, like tonight, it made it more exciting because I don't do it all the time.
No, and I think like a lot of people use Twitch to communicate directly to their fans. Like we have a community that we obviously talk to. You saw a lot of them asking you questions today. You're talking directly to them on social media all the time. So, and I think it's like Twitch would be a different tool for you. But you're more than welcome to come back on our channel whenever you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Never say never. If it's presented correctly and it's something I could do, sure. But nowadays, like with Twitch and YouTube and things like that, people can have their own television channels, which is really cool. And you get 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people that watch you. I mean, what's the difference in network television?
Yeah, and hell, right now, there's not a whole lot of difference between Conan O'Brien interviewing you on Zoom or us.
Yeah.
It's kind of been the great equalizer, this COVID-19, when it comes to production values.
Yeah, people figure out other ways. Look how I figured out how to make my crowd show up on Zoom. I would never do that, but because now this is the medium we're using, of course, people are learning and people are teaching each other. Any chance I can to talk to people, I try to take advantage of it, because, after 30 years in the business and 30 years making music, I've got a lot of fans and I got a lot of people that really fuck with me, Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to be cool as I can with them, while I can, you know what I'm saying? So, it's better to get a vibe of me. See, a lot of people, they listen to the music, they like, yo, this motherfucker got people hanging off meat hooks and shit. Like, this is
hell yeah, ruthless.
But then there's a B-side to it, which part of fame is mystery. So it's kind of like when you let people get too comfortable and they know you too much, then they no longer respect you. They get carried away. It's like the guy that the first day you meet him, he's your friend. He's like, oh, nice to meet you. And a week later, he's trying to snatch your hat off your head playing like we be best friends all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you got to keep that little distance. It's important. You know,
this is a kind of a heavier question, but I figure, we're wrapping up anyway. Artemis X asks, do you have any thoughts on the mess going on in America right now? I guess that's a pretty broad question. But
yeah, there's so many messes to choose from.
Well, you got two things, right? You got the COVID situation. That's the first mess that got us. Like I said earlier, I do believe that the virus is real. I understand when people are pulled out of work and pulled out of their daily life, that bothers people. Everybody doesn't have a cushion to fall back on, and a lot of people can't. They go from month to month or week to week even with their paychecks. So I understand how that would make people upset. And then you got all these conspiracy theories going on, whether it's real, this, that, and the third. So I understand that'll cause a lot of stress. Like I said, conspiracies, where it came from, Fauci, Bill Gates, whatever, 5G, I say your biggest mistake is thinking it's fake. The virus itself is real. Now, as far as what's going on with the uprising and the people stepping up against the police brutality, I think that, George Floyd was a tipping point. I think everyone knows it's happening, whether you're black, white, Mexican, Asian. We know that different people get treated differently. And I think when we saw that man just executed on television, on video, 9 minutes, handcuffed with a guy's knee on his neck, everyone said, this is uncalled for. If you're going to arrest somebody, pick them up, put them in the car. And I've been preaching about it. I've been preaching about it for 30 years. I don't think anybody wants anything other than justice. Now, when Rodney King got his ass beat, no one rioted. But when they found those police innocent, that's telling people no crime was committed, none. And it snapped in LA. On this one, George Floyd was killed and they didn't arrest the officer. I mean, people usually wait on justice, but when it doesn't happen, that's when people snap. Now, then you have a riot and people go, well, can't they just peacefully protest? That's not what a riot is. A riot is when people are enraged and they take to the streets. The best way to stop a riot is never get it started in the first place. Never, like I said it earlier, when your girlfriend or your wife is talking to you in a low tone, pay attention. Listen, when we're saying, hey, the cops are out here beating our ass, pay attention. After 3 or 4 times she comes in and you ignore her, she's throwing her shoe through your television. That's a riot in your house. Now, trying to get her to stop, it might be harder than if you had to just listen to her earlier. Mm-hmm. So riots happen. There was damage to people's businesses and things of that nature. But the main thing is people weren't fighting people. That's bigger. I mean, let it be commercial real estate or businesses versus the people attacking each other. That didn't happen. And no matter how they try to swing it, it was not a race war. This is not a race war. This is a uprising against injustice, and it happened all over the world. So I think now, after all you guys have been out there protesting, whoever did, now you got to take it with you every day in your life. Forget about the protests. Are you going to allow this to happen in your presence? If you got a friend and they say little racist shit, are you going to address them? Are you going to let them know they assholes? Are you going to check them on a daily basis? That's what has to happen now. We just can't leave the streets. We have to address it. Nobody wants to be special. Everybody just wants to have a fair treatment. I mean, come on. That's all. Like the guy said, Black Lives Matter. Matter? I mean, what else can we say? Matter? Like we exist? What's lower than matter? Someone say matter, So, I mean, I think that the blowover of this is going to be great because when you look in the streets and you see the diversity of the crowd and what everybody is about, I think it's beautiful. I think this could be a big change in America and the world. So I think It starts off aggressive, as most uprisings do. But I think at the end, the dialogue is there and people are fed up with this shit. And in the gaming community, we're here on the gaming community. You're on the fucking video chat with your boy and you hear them saying nigger and spick and all this shit. Block them, check them. That's not okay, man. That's not okay. I actually play video games with the voices muted just so I don't hear that shit. We know that in the gaming community, there's a lot of racist shit. There's a lot of bullshit and bullying that goes on in the gaming community. That needs to be addressed by the good gamers. You know, it's like corny, man. Like,
no, you're dead right, and I think it's the same message. Good people have to rise up against bad people, and they have to rise up for human rights, like you're saying, and it's a global movement. And then that applies to gaming. We are seeing some game companies finally take it seriously. I think Call of Duty has announced some things, and they actually, I think in Warzone, before every match now, there's a Black Lives Matter like image that is shown.
Yeah, seeing that from Call of Duty, man, it's just, if Call of Duty can get behind Black Lives Matter, like so many other people should be able to get behind this movement.
Right now, it's this Black Lives. You get what I'm saying? Right now, this is the topic we're talking about now because of all the murders that has happened to us. But it's just really everybody. You know, I don't care what race you are. I don't care if you're short, tall, you know, and just discrimination based across the board has to be shut down. It's not okay. It's not okay. And, you know, there's a lot of justice still to be done as far as this cop thing goes. All the different murders that have happened with no one convicted. That gets people mad. See, this is one thing you got to remember. When you see a riot or you see upset, a lot of people stand with us, but you're not mad. Some of us are fucking mad. And when you're mad, it's a whole nother energy. So, you know, the first couple of days, get out the way, because mad people were fucking just fed up. They're just fed up, you know. But I think it's going to be a lot of bonding, a lot of conversations. You know, white kids, black kids, we all cool. Cool people don't see color. We just all get down together. We don't trip. You know what I'm saying? But there's people out there we know that's pushing an agenda to keep everybody apart. And we know our new president got in there and he didn't do anything to bring us together. He spent a lot of time dividing us. And that's why he had to hide in the bunker. He got so shook, he went down in the damn bunker and stuff. And I tell people all the time, I'm not Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not left wing or right wing, because in my book, both wings are on the same bird.
No, for real.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate you talking to that just in general. And I think, like, based on your feed, based on how you've been posting on Twitter, you have this message of solidarity among all races. And I think you kind of mentioned it, is like, I'm pissed off for black people because I'm not black, but I'm brown, and I know that they'll fuck me up too. Or, you know, they'll do something messed up to Muslims, or they're doing something messed up to, you know, Mexican immigrants, or, you know, people coming on the southern border. You know, as someone who's visible, you know, visible, strong minority, you know, person, what's the message that you could send to people who might not be black for why they should care? You know?
It's human rights.
Yeah.
It's just human rights. I mean, either you care about other people or you only care about yourself. It's one of the two. If you care about other people, you know, there was a line, I was watching this movie called The Orient Express, and the guy goes, "Are you racist?" And their answer was, "Well, it depends what race."
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't even know they're racist. They say, "Oh, I get along with black people, but I hate Chinese people," or "I don't get along with Muslims." They think Muslim is a race when it's a religion. They don't like Jewish people. Everybody's got their own group of people they got a problem with. I don't have a problem with anybody. I judge a devil by his deeds. I check anybody I meet, and I watch their get down, and I see how they treat people, and I make a decision. You know, I think it was Muhammad Ali who said, It's not how you treat the owner of the restaurant. It's how you treat the waiter. A test of character is how you treat somebody who can do absolutely nothing for you. But here's a quick racist test. A lot of people out there, oh, I'm not racist. I'm not racist. Well, if you had a daughter, say you're white and you had a daughter, and she decided to bring a Mexican boyfriend home, or she decided she wanted to get married to an Asian guy or a black guy or a Puerto Rican guy or even a Muslim cat, would it bother you? If so, you're racist. Simple as that. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. So you got to sometimes take it all the way to, you know, being with somebody or that being their choice as a mate. Then you got issues, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's a time right now for everybody to search their own self, look in the mirror and say, where do I stand with this? But, you know, either you're a good person or you're a bad person. It's really how you feel, you know? And hopefully, you know, when my daughter grows up, I got a 4-year-old. Now, trip off this. My daughter, me and Coco's daughter, is black and white, but by the laws of America, she's black.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wrote laws that said if you have 1 drop of black blood in you, you no longer can be white. So that's some bullshit. So you got to know that all this stuff that's written, the way this country that everybody holds so grand, you know, there's a lot of bullshit in there. You know, my daughter is white and black, but she has to put black on her driver's like she's black because she has 1 drip. And that's what Chuck D came with the theory, fear of a black planet, which means that if we all got along, systematically the white race would eliminate itself because of the 1 drop rule. But it's not. It's just because of that rule. It's not really it. So I mean, I don't have any problems with anybody. I love everybody that watched the Twitch. But now you got to go out and fight. All these people in the crowd behind me, they got to fight it every day. You got to stand on it, man. If you Mexican, if you my Mexican partner, and I'm really your fucking friend, and I hear somebody saying something out the way about Mexicans, it's my duty to check them. I got to check them like, man, that's not okay, cuz I don't know what the fuck you talking about. My man, you know, you got to do that. You have to address that shit, you know? So that's your goal now, people. That's the goal. You know, you want to change the world, then each one of us have to do it. Not one person can do it.
But I think it's really important to have people like you who are leading and showing people the way, you know, through your lack of fucks to give. It's an inspiration, Ice-T.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've been doing it forever, man. You know, you got to remember, this is just who I am and what all my music has always been around it. It's been coming from a gangster perspective, but it's always been about what's right and what's wrong, you know? So, you know.
This has been awesome.
Yeah.
You know, we really...
Back in prison industrial.
Oh, no.
No.
Let's get free Ice-T in the chat. Ice, this has been such a treat. I know Blake and I have been talking about doing this for years. This wasn't necessarily the situation we thought we would be in when we were hanging out with you, but I'm glad that all of us were able to pivot, you know, during this period to do something really amazing. This, you know, Shacknews E4. This was our build it. If you build it, they will come moment. I would say with 8,000 people watching us earlier live on Twitch, it seems like people came, and that's largely due to you, Ice. So really appreciate all the time you've given us.
Peace. Yeah. So, you know, let's go out there, handle our business, keep gaming, you know, and you know, bring this community together, you know, and thanks to Shacknews for having me. Had a blast, and you know, let me get off of this so I can get back and start playing some more.
One last thing.
All right.
One last thing, please, buddy. We have a slogan at Shacknews. I've it's do it for Shacknews. Can you tell everyone in chat to either sub to Shacknews, go to our articles, follow us on Twitter, just tell them to do it for Shacknews?
Yeah, listen, straight up, man. Do it for Shacknews, y'all. All right? Subscribe to Shacknews. Follow Shacknews. be part of Shacknews. They made this happen, man. They took me from here to here.
Thank you so much,
dude. Thank you, man. This was
Shacknews, baby.
ladies and gentlemen,
man,
the legend,
dude.
the legendary MC,
oh man,
the masterful actor, the leader of Body Count, just the king of player hating. Ice motherfucking T on Shacknews Twitch, baby. Anything is possible.
I'm on vacation.
Dude.
Peace.